So here I am at my real live event. No short for me today. I'm going to have to go in head first and get back on that horse. Even if it bucks me right back off, I got to do it. So I started out today by doing this really nice, well done manuscript of what I had to say over my short using a photograph that had a 3-card spread that I picked. And they were, as I will show you, these 3 cards. And the first thing I noticed is the colors. These are my colors. I love them. I love them. What I realized about this was crown chakra, third eye, and throat chakra were exactly what I needed to see today because, well, this is a result of these 3 cards. I also then turned around and I went ahead and was looking through the many different devotionals that I have. And I have a partiality to devotionals. I would get more from different faiths if I had been at this longer. And as I'm developing my other YouTube channel, which I've been working at for roughly 10 months, which is Ombi I Am Omnist. That channel is coming together. It's going to take me a hot minute because I haven't been focusing on it. There's a lot of reasons. I am pretty typical for divine feminines who are around their 4th year of the journey. Coming up here any day now, I will be at my 4th year on the journey. And what I have found is that my confidence in myself is in the process of being raised. That is what is going on here. And so that would be, in fact, my crown chakra activation, which I am absolutely living in this very moment. Now, let me get back to some of the daily devotionals that I deal with. I am very much involved with the local Lutheran church, which I started out in Unity, and before that I was Southern Baptist, and I happen to like all religions, but didn't really find out I was an omnist until a year ago when I started realizing I've been doing this my whole life, going from one church to another, just acquiring the flavor and the substance of how they approach their particular mode of religious spirituality. And there is a huge distinction, and I will not argue the point because as an omnist, in my job is to integrate, and to integrate is what I do. So when I look at crown chakra, this is pretty much where I'm at today on my journey. So I happened to read today's quote from one of my many choices, and it said, "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching men." And I laughed to myself because, of course, I'm a twin flame. I have a twin flame that we talk telepathically. And no, I don't have any verification of that. I just truly believe that that's the case. And the only verification I generally get are from the selected group of readers that I follow. I am spirit-led, so sometimes I change my readers, or I'll get a new group of readers, and then They either work with me or I work with them, or it's a spiritual kind of thing. But I neither catch fish nor do I catch men. And for those of you that know me, it sounds really odd that I would be out catching men. Since I am the epitome of being a hermit, I stay reclusive until I get on a plane and go home to visit, and then I stay reclusive there. That is the nature of, I believe, being someone who is extremely driven by their spiritual calling. I've seen myself stand up in a room full of people and announce that the ascension has arrived. And that was like 4 or 5 years. Wow, that was like 10 years ago. And I'm sure that those people laughed at me, but oh well. Back to what I was saying. So that was Luke 5:4-6. And it took me a minute to stop and really think about, what did that have to do with crown chakra? Well, in my case, it has to do with why I'm working and doing this right now. As far as catching men, it would be a joy for me if I could accommodate the divine and help shift as many of us as possible to being open and receptive. And for me, so that brings it down to the third eye. How do I see myself in this proposition that I am in, which is opening up, being my genuine self, which isn't hard for me. I think the hardest part for me is that the twin flame journey made me question, am I ready to be a self-controlled ego? And I think we all have our moments where we get to be a self-controlled ego, and other times where we are maybe inebriated or self-medicated or caught in the moment, and we may get exuberant. For me, it is about staying in the third eye chakra, allowing the playground of the third eye, the visual interpretations, the divine gifts, many of us, in our glimpses of a mental picture. For me, the big dream has been going on for many years. I've gotten download after download of unlimited possibilities. And today is a good example of me opening the door to my third eye. Me saying, yes, I'm ready. I can do this because I know I'm not alone. We have a job here. Those of us who have been called into this position. And I believe that our collective is ready for this. Yes, we all have to open the door in whatever way we're called to do so. For me, it's time. So I know that the third eye chakra is definitely engaged today, and I'm thrilled about it. You know, Om, who I like to refer to God as Om, it is in the biblical terminology. I'm not sure about the relativity in many other beliefs, but currently this is the book I work with for other beliefs. And there are many out there. I I didn't really want to get into some really super long reading. So I needed something that was sort of concise and met my needs, which this does very, very well. It's an ongoing study for me because integrating the different religious practices and spirituality into a commonality takes my next card, which is the throat chakra. So perfect for today, especially under the circumstances that I am doing. You know, God or omnipotent is constant. There's a nice constant, like the rhythm of our heart, the movement of our breath, the constant of divine, the constant of omnipotent. That awareness of all unchanging and just staying constant. Now, I like to tether myself to that because that is where I get my stability. And I will probably wait for my next live video to talk about my practice. And I'm thinking that might actually come on Monday morning when I actually say, well, this is my life as a divine feminine in my blooming phase as an empress, because I know from what I'm hearing that, and it's important that I had been speaking regularly off and on during my adjustment into becoming someone who was communicating. Maybe not in a formal way with my twin flame, but instead in a covert way with my twin flame. And I understood the reasons why that was necessary, and I did see some of the gains. And so it was a cooperative effort between myself, my higher Om, and at that time, Instagram, where I was attempting to help in any way possible. And that was always according to whatever Om was asking me to do when it came to the twin flame relationship that I am still in. This particular card, I found that for me, it became a dialogue of writing and creating and observing the different potentials that were available to unhinge someone from circumstances that might cause one to need some freeing factors. And that is what I did. And I did it, and I played it by ear, because December was a tough month. I don't know how many other people out there experienced some of the tower moments, but December was a tough tower moment for the masculines. Wasn't so hard for us. I think that was, for me, I had a hard year of several times where I had to work on boundary setting. But the throat abruptly ended for me. I mean, I'm talking abrupt. Now, I don't know how many people out there can relate to that. You can write in the comments and tell me what kind of abrupt changes have come your way. But for me, in January the 26th of 2025, my communications abruptly ended when I fell down a flight of stairs. And as soon as I took off midair, I had a conversation with myself about how could we fall and not become really badly injured? Where could we land that would not break in my neck or an arm? Or this was all in a split second. The next thing I knew, I had landed, and my son-in-law came around, and I was unaffected. And I knew I was affected, but I just didn't know in what body part was I affected. So, we had a drive back home, which is a fairly long drive from Spokane back out to Grand Coulee, Washington. And during that time, we stopped to let the kids get out and get their wiggles out. And I said, my bra strap's getting a little tight. And lo and behold, my back was swole up on this side. So I quickly got on my iPhone and I looked. And in my mind's eye, I could see that there were no other pains in my body. I had no symptoms of having fallen down a flight of stairs. But now it was real. I looked like a hunchback. It was bad. And so as soon as we got home, I got in the car with my son, and we went off, and I got x-rays, and lo and behold, I had hit a fatty pad right here, back here, that is nothing but blood vessels, and I had popped those babies big time. So having known now that everything is fairly good on the home front, I was going to survive. I tell you now, I would like to hear what other people had happen, because 2 days later, the hatchback on my older car, heavy as it is, came down, missed my back while I was loading groceries, and imploded on my iPhone, completely cutting off any chance I had of continuing to communicate in any way with my twin flame. Yes, there is such a thing as divine intervention. I know, I just lived it. So all I can tell you is my new phone arrived the 5th of February, and I never remember February. February came, and it seemed like around the 5th, I had started on this virus we all have. And between the back recovering, the phone being reset, and my virus, well, my third eye was now officially on arrest. And I went into a period of complete zombiehood. I slept, I rested, I caught up on who knows what my mind was thinking. And this came out when I just took these cards out, because this moment is my personal miracle. Yes, sirree, buddy, because I have been fretting over this right here, what I'm doing, for just about 4 days, maybe 5. And I had made it into way bigger a deal than it needed to be, because, of course, I have been in overthinking. That won't work. Not anymore. And so, with happiness and delight, I am now living my miracle. I am now stepping on my path. I am now working towards the fulfillment of my own personal desires, which is to communicate with other people who are in our tribes everywhere, that things are getting better. Things are improving. Life is going to be unbelievable for many of us. And we just need to take a leap, step out in faith, no matter what your faith is. Because, the crown is about opening to your Christ light. The third eye is about balancing your light in your dark and being able to see the future path and to really follow it. And the throat, well, expressing all your energy and getting it out in a way where you can get a message through to someone else, that even if you fall down a flight of stairs, you can turn around and you can start over. You can do it. And so I say this. These are some questions that were posed in one of my doctrines today. It says, are you nervous about sharing your spiritual faith with others? I'm not particularly nervous about it. Now, I still follow many Christian tenets. And I will talk more about this particular subject on Om Be I Am and Omnist. Om Me I Am and Omnist. But not yet. I think I'll just work on my daily routine for a little bit here. But, if the answer is yes, you're a little bit timid about talking to other people about your religious or spiritual individual nature, then, you need to really maybe sit down and diary why you feel that way. What is it in your history that makes you feel like, well, maybe I shouldn't really expose this to anyone? Or you don't want anyone to humiliate you for your own ideas. Then there's, how could you find or ask for help to get past that kind of a feeling? Now, if you are in an organized religion, I would like to hear if somebody does approach their religious leaders and talk about the fact that they have deeper feelings than just the tenets of that particular religion. And that probably, as I say, when I get into my other channel, when it does start, that will be a very important part of that. But I would say, in closing, stop and have a prayer. I pray all day long. I'm constantly walking around, speaking with my angels and guides, and if not my angels and guides, my twin often hears a lot of this rambling and probably causes him to feel very confused, but I can't apologize now. I can only find out if it bothered him and he had to have a headache from all my chattering. On the other hand, I will say that go into prayer, because you're going to get an answer. You're going to get an answer to your prayer. You just have to keep it up. For those of us who are currently spiritual and manifesting the lives that we've prayed for quite a while, I say bravo, bravo. And I am proud to be part of this tribe. For all the many readers that have been hinting that it's time for all of us to get up and do it, well, I say thank you for being who you are in my life and in everyone else's. I'm just going to do this, and I'm not going to look back, because I know that what I want is coming. And I look forward to every moment of my new life. God bless you all. Thanks.